Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Vicki Howie of ChakraBoosters.com, the creator of Chakra Boosters Healing Tattoos, as well as CirclingSpace.com. And a few of you have asked me to actually physically show you my tattoos because they are just pictures in the store. So I brought some today to show you my favorite, the root chakra tattoo. And I'm recommending a lot of grounding in this Leo season with Lionsgate and lots of activation. So this root one is a really good one for this month. And then this is the packet of 7, which has one of each of your chakras, and it shows the crown on the back through this see-through area. So there you go. At least you saw some of it, and you can get those at ChakraBoosters.com. And we are now going to talk about your astrology forecast for August 2022. And I should definitely say your astrology energy forecast, as I'm going to talk about chakras and numerology and all things dealing with energy today. I'm sorry, but once again, Tiffany's not here this month. She's healing well from surgery. And thank you to all of you who've been sending her love. And we will see after this month how Tiffany's feeling. She has a lot to catch up on once she gets her health back completely. But we did want to tell you thank you for all the love that you're sending towards Tiffany during this healing time. Thank you guys. And I'm going to do my best to share with you my take on Lionsgate, my take on this Leo season and the solar-y heart chakra energy that's out here. Okay? So let's begin with the theme, as I always do. I'm going to share theme, numerology, key dates and aspects, my favorite and least favorite days, the hardest, the most challenging, and the best or smoothest days, and a couple goddess cards as well at the end. Okay, you guys, so let's take a look at the theme. The theme for this month is romancing your spirit. There's a lot of activating type energy. There's surprise energy from Uranus. There's energy from Jupiter. There's just a lot of this spiritual energy, and then a whole lot of romantic energy of Leo season, love's in the air, fire and passion, and that is the combination of solar and heart. So if there were 2 chakras we're going to really focus on, and especially on balancing this month, it would be solar plexus and heart. This is all about self and shining, and then also connecting with others. So the difference between independence and connecting with others, focusing on self and focusing on others. And of course, we need it all. Why not? Why not love it all, embrace it all, embody it all? So those would be the ones that I would focus on the most, but also all of the upper chakras, 5 through 7, the throat, the third eye, and the crown are really emphasized, especially if you're partaking of the energies of 8-8 Lionsgate, which is at the very least a numerological activity of great meaning for me. Because I embrace it, it has a lot of value. I look at it at a time when I activate, expand, and most of all, embody that expansion. It's not just an energy healing, it is an activation of my full body self. And there's going to be opportunities for an upgrade in not just the energy, but like throwing out old identity too, and really bringing in the new self, the next incarnation of you. And I'll get to that as we get to the key aspects. The numerology this month, it's a 5-month, because when you take 8 August and add it to 2022, you get 14 or 5. It's a 5-month, but I'd also like to keep that 8. That 8 is related to the 8-8 of Lionsgate and to this strong, strong energy of the soul star chakra and the which would be many called the 8th chakra. I deal with the 7 traditional, but just naturally over time as I've worked with them, I've seen that when someone has 8s in their numerology, we come back to this root chakra energy. healing, manifestation, just this powerful being who also has embraced all the chakras. So that's what this 8 is about, this 8 energy. It is powerful. It's a power number. It's related to root chakra, but in the highest version of that root chakra, like a root chakra that is enlightened, right? Enlightened root chakra. So I love that. And then 5 is truly the number with the year. So 5 is the number we really want to look at. And a 5 month is a month toward throat chakra and above, stepping into manifestations, stepping into the magic of the upper chakras, into the spiritual, making the word really matter. Whether you're doing mantras or just affirmations or TPQs. You can look up my playlist on TPQs, or I'll leave the link for you below. But basically, 5 is a move toward the upper chakras, the next dimension, the 5th dimension, as we talk about upgrades for the Leo season, the star Sirius, and also for all of this in the Lion's Gate, we are talking about energies of 5, energies of moving up into the next dimension, but taking the physical body with us. We can't possibly go into that dimension without being more ourselves, because 5 is all about authenticity. And that's also why the 5 is about eccentricity, because we're all totally unique. We all have our own little flavors. Okay, so it's a 5 month toward freedom, maverick energy, spiritual energy, magic energy, using the word, self-expression, all of that. It's a liberation number, especially in regard to the spiritual dimension. I'm not going to do any weekly themes on this forecast because I love the main theme of romancing the spirit. You are going to romance your spirit this month. That's our main theme, romancing the spirit, which is all about the upgrades we talked about, the courage, the Leo energy. And I am going to just begin. I'm going to talk about the Lion's Gate more when I get to 8/8. Many talk about it actually spreading energetically from the 26th of July to the 12th or so of August. There's many different stories around Lion's Gate, so I'm not going to get into any details. That's less astrological as it is numerological and spiritual, in the sense of people co-focusing on this activation around something so powerful as the number 8, infinity, the power number, twice, 8/8. The only time in the year where the month and the day are 8, solidly 8, not adding up in any other way. So because of that, we're going to focus on 8/8 on Lion's Gate when I get to 8/8, okay? But I'm going to now share the daily aspects that are coming up that are worth noting. And the first is, of course, August 1st. Mars is in Taurus, conjunct Uranus in Taurus. So we have a conjunction here that can be, Mars is explosive, active oriented. It's very action. It's the warrior. And Uranus is the, guess what? Who knows? The surprise planet. So together, you could have some real surprising developments or action or things happen or even instigate through you regarding Taurian things, especially Mother Earth and money and values. A change in any of those areas. Taurus is a root chakra. It's an earth sign. So we're looking at root chakra energy where these changes would likely happen. August 2nd, Venus in Cancer, where she's comfortable, Cancer home. Her domicile is Taurus, but she's very comfortable in the sign of Cancer, which is love, the other feminine. Venus is very much about more of the sacral and heart feminine. Venus is sextile Mars and Uranus, 2 different masculine energies in Taurus. So on the 2nd, you have this, what I call garden of great romance. It's great masculine energy and great feminine energy, and there's a surprising nod to what I would call commitment. The Cancer home energy, sweet, family-oriented, as well as Taurus, committed, fixed, earth, right? And even though Cancer's not earth, it's the earthiest of the water signs and has that home aspect. So you might have some surprising commitments here, particularly if they're around romance. And now I get like a helicopter or something above. I don't know if you can hear it, but I like to listen for those underlines. So there could be, and this would be a good time if you were going to ask for a commitment romantically, to do it on this date. And we also have August 2 is 2, right? The relationship number. August 3, Mercury enters Virgo. And I want to note this because as Mercury goes into Virgo, you may feel yourself able to think and communicate in a really more organized, detailed, more real way. Like your thinking will feel like, oh, I can actually get that done. And you will be able to, in other words, make that translation from the thinking to making it happen in the real world. Use this energy, you guys. If you're a little dreamier like me, I have Pisces and I have Aquarius energy, then use this Mercury in Virgo to think and to communicate in ways that can get detailed, organized things done. August 7th, Venus is in Cancer again, where she's comfortable, right? And she is trine Neptune in Pisces. Now, Neptune is at home. That's the domicile. Pisces is Neptune's domicile. So you get this sweet, delicious, daydreamy energy on the 7th as we move toward 8-8 Lionsgate. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop there. Mars in Taurus is square Saturn in Aquarius. This is two fixed signs. So you've got Taurus and Aquarius, two fixed signs. And Mars is a go-getter and Saturn holds its ground. So this, you're going to feel this square. And this is going to make, I'm not sure how it's going to play out with that sweet, dreamy, romantic energy of Venus and Neptune. But I'm going to suggest on the 7th that you surrender, like really go for it projects. Just kind of let them go a bit for that day. And snuggle up with your loved one. Like play with your loved one, snuggle up, get dreamy, make dreams because you have that Neptune Pisces, or do something spiritual, or work with your soulmate who's already a spiritual loved one, or work with your own spiritual, romantic, masculine, feminine energies on the 7th. That's what feels good to me. So surrender a little bit on that day to love. August 8th is Lionsgate. It's recognized as Lionsgate. Now, there's a lot of controversy around Lionsgate. And when I started to get into it a few years back, I did the research and I have passed on what's said. It's not recognized so much by astrologers. So right there, I take it more symbolically. It could have been that portals have shifted over time, but I still recognize it as a time of activation, okay? I recognize it as a time of very strong activation, and I love numerology. So the 8-8 of it is undeniably powerful in root chakra and manifestation in healing ways. The number 8 is the healer and the manifester, and it's a power number. And it also sideways is infinity, so it's related to the spiritual. So it's all about the spiritual becoming, the infinite becoming finite, the infinite being brought into the body. Okay, so it's like highest and root chakra. And so for me, Lionsgate is an opportunity to upgrade around the lion season, the Leo season, the fire, the romance, the heart, the solar plexus and heart chakras and their balance, with the embodiment of root chakra, like really changing the body. And this is an activation of spiritual self, but not just for spirit's sake. It's an activation that everyone who follows Lionsgate treats as a physical activation, physical and spiritual. And I think that's the most important thing about it. If you want to know everything that's said about it in regard to the star Sirius and the pyramids of Giza, then go ahead and watch my video below that's 8 ways to make Lionsgate great. I'm not interested in all the facts around it as much as the fact that it has powerful numerological energy, that as many of us recognize it during this Lion Leo season as a time to activate and step into higher power, that's exactly what it becomes. That's exactly what it can serve as. New Year's Eve is my favorite holiday. It's just a date on the calendar, but we all get together in the Western world and celebrate it. So it ends up being very special, very important, a time of renewal, a time of making new intentions, a time of celebration for what's past and what's been accomplished. So I feel that way about Lionsgate. It just, like even right now I'm smiling as I talk about it because it just makes me happy. Lionsgate 8-8. Double 8 energy, stepping into fire, alchemy of fire, and becoming the highest version of myself. That's all exciting to me, and it feels very activated during this time. So look at it for yourself. And on a literal level, astrologically, on 8-8, we have Venus in Cancer opposing Pluto in Capricorn. So I asked my guides about this one because it seemed really interesting. This is basically romance versus power. And because you have Venus in Cancer, very home, very romance, very sweet, very relational, opposing Pluto, the power and money planet, with Capricorn, the business and power sign. So can you have both? Can you have this feminine energy in a place of power? Can your feminine be powerful? Is really what I want to say. Is can you be in a relationship, be yourself, be honored for being yourself, and not feel like you get usurped or lost? Because power struggles arise in relationship when we feel like it's a tug of war. We feel like I could lose myself in this. I could lose myself. So how can you gain more of yourself in relationship? By being more authentic, by supporting your partner in their authenticity, in creating an atmosphere where you enhance each other's power without power struggles, and you also enhance the passion, the fire, the romance. This is what my guides were showing me that this date is really about. So I feel this year with the 8-8 Lionsgate, it's particularly about not just yourself, but also about the energy of your relationship, your major significant other relationship. And if you don't have that, then it is about romancing your spirit, your inner masculine, feminine. Okay? All right, you guys, do a ritual on this date to ground. Stay in that earth energy on 8-8. Because one thing that's come around over and over again, it's an ascension energy on that date. Even if that ascension energy is stronger because we're all focusing on ascension and that which we focus on expands, I believe that grounding is the key, because whenever we grow upward, whether it's as a tree per se or as a building, as it goes up, it needs more grounding. So ground on the 8th, but ground all month because it's a fiery month. Let's talk about August 11th, the full moon in Aquarius at 9:35 Eastern time. This one is a big one. There are a lot of aspects going on. First of all, you have this beautiful monthly energy of 5. Aquarius is that 5 eccentric upper chakra energy. It really is. It's got a mental aspect that the 5 has. It's just totally that energy, the 5 of the month. And the full moon is culminations. So this moon is going to be about making it easier for you to understand your emotions from an Aquarian perspective, from farther away, from a more spiritual place. It's also going to be about seeking emotional freedom, whatever that means for you, and my guides made me feel that it wasn't so much about getting away from anyone, but seeking emotional freedom through being more authentically you, which is the 5 again, and which is Aquarian, to be your honest self and with others, period. Just being that. Like, you don't have to get away from anyone. You just need to be yourself. Does that make sense? If you're yourself, then you have nothing to get away from. If you are not feeling that you're willing to be yourself or can be yourself around others, then you're going to need to seek emotional freedom away from others. And then you have to break emotion to gain emotion. And it's better to have emotional connection and be able to have your own self. That's true emotional freedom. All right. But most importantly, my guide showed me here that this particular full moon is about letting go, because full moons are about completion and release, letting go of any tribes, networks, groups that you belong to that don't support your future self, that don't support where you're going. This is a good moon to let go, to just let go. And it doesn't mean it's easy, but this is a good moon to do that. And you'll have the emotional clarity and perspective, again, from that Aquarian perspective, to do it. Venus enters Leo on this date as well. So you have this grand feminine energy. Venus tends to be heart and sacral. It tends to be very feminine and even watery and airy. But Leo is fiery. The solar plexus chakra, Leo's like grand and big and goes for it. So Venus isn't necessarily super comfortable in Leo, but my guides are showing me lately she's enjoying it, meaning she's enjoying being seen and having the courage and the being a bit of a warrior. So really feel that shift of your feminine into Leo. The sun in Leo squares Uranus in Taurus. So once again, we have those fixed signs squaring off. So there might be some volatility. When I felt into it though, the volatility of squares is for change. It's like when we're rubbing something to try to smooth it, polish that rock. Well, this rubbing feels really good, actually, if you acknowledge what it's about. And this is about a possible whole new shakeup and change in your self-identity. What new self-image do you want to cultivate? Check it out. But more importantly, since this is a full moon, it's less about what the new is yet. That will take care of itself. It's more at this time about what old self-image do you want to let go of. And it might be the self that fit in the groups that you also want to let go of, right? That old self that just isn't so comfortable anymore in your skin, in your new, more authentic skin. The other aspect that's happening is on the 11th, Mars is in Taurus, sextile Neptune in Pisces. This is soulmate romantic energy. Or it can be, if you're not with a mate, it can be about action around loving your spiritual self. Your highest, and your new identity that we were talking about here could be embracing more of your spiritual self, especially since 8/8 invites us to activate and bring in more of our higher energies and more of our spiritual self in a Leo, visible, conscious kind of way. Okay? August 14th, Mars is in Taurus, trine Pluto and Capricorn. I just wanted to point this energy out because it feels bold and sensual, deep, and it has an opportunity for real world change, okay? Because you've got 2 earth signs, and then you've got the action of Mars, and you have the depth of Pluto. Can you feel that? So it could be a deep action around change in these earth signs of Taurus and Capricorn. So earth things or business, like nature things, Taurus, or business, Capricorn. I like it. It just feels good, that energy. August 18th, Venus in Leo is trine Jupiter that expands everything in Aries. Jupiter is connected to Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the 3rd fire sign. So we have Leo, Aries, Sagittarius type energy, meaning everything's fiery. Even though Jupiter is all about crown energy and the God energy. It has this fire in it in its relationship to Sagittarius. So we're talking about a lot of fire with Venus. So to me, this is a day for romantic fire and romantic faith and boldness. Okay? The faith, because I'm not sure why, tell you the truth. It just came through as I was channeling it and working with it. It was romantic faith and boldness. Like you might take a bold step forward in some sort of romantic thing. And you see why I said this is the month of romancing the spirit, because it's all about this Leo romantic energy. And it's all about spirit. So we're being literally romantic, like in the old sense, between people within yourself, but we're also romancing this new identity of spirit and all the upper chakra magic that we can bring into our lives. Does that feel good? I hope that feels good. I think it feels good. August 20th, Mars enters Gemini for approximately 7 months. And this is not the best relationship because Mars wants to just do things. It doesn't want to talk about it. Like Aries, Mars just wants to go for it. Mars is fiery. And Gemini wants to go, well, maybe this, and maybe I could try this for a while and that. Gemini is the original dilettante energy. It's like, let me be a master of try to be a master of everything and end up not quite being a master of any of it, but I get to try it all and it's fun. Well, Mars in Gemini is a little bit like that. And also Mars likes to fight. Mars is a warrior energy, and Gemini is sociable and friendly and mutable. So what I would watch here, the positive is you could possibly put different ideas into action if you don't split yourself in too many directions. The negative would be I would watch any tendency to want to use words as weapons, especially when this energy first kicks in. So maybe watch it the 20th, 21st, pay attention. Are my thoughts and my words more combative? Just check for that. August 22, the sun enters Virgo. Things start to cool down. Happy birthday, Virgos. And I should have said happy birthday to my Leos before that. Things cool down and we get a back to school vibe, right? Just kind of the way things are. Mercury, also on the same date in Virgo, is trine Pluto in Capricorn. So they're nice and harmonious in that trine. And Virgo and Capricorn are very real world, logical, getters done. So Mercury communication and Pluto transformation. So we could have new effective ways of thinking, of transformation perhaps. There's newness in this around thinking and communicating and transforming. Can you feel that? Yeah, and that it could be successful. It could work well. That's that Capricorn energy. August 25th, Mercury enters Libra. Just want to remind you that your thinking and communication on that date might get much more diplomatic and fair. And that's beautiful. Listen to those balancing scales, this, but maybe that, or maybe that. At the same time, watch indecision. Watch the tendency to let your scale balancing stop you from taking action or stop you from making a decision, okay? And don't get too lost in your thinking of that because that's Mercury that's going into Libra. August 26th, Venus in Leo is square Uranus in Taurus. Again, two fixed signs squaring off. It's about of romance, really. Maybe money, maybe luxury. Venus is all these things, the feminine. But it's also about the unknown, Uranus. So what could happen during this time? Unknown. It could have a surprise in the relationship. If there was going to be like a good or bad surprise, right? A breakup or a move forward in some way in the relationship that you didn't see coming, it could happen on this date. And additionally, there's more. The sun in Virgo is square Mars in Gemini. Now, these two are mutable signs. So they're more likely to affect each other. But what's being done here is sort of a square off of perfectionism versus acting on your ideas. So you can't act on your ideas if you wait until everything's perfect. So Gemini wants you to act on different ideas, right? And Virgo wants you to make sure it's perfect. So my advice right here is good enough. Just 2 words. Good enough. Be careful about expecting too much from yourself, your partner, your relationship, anything. Be careful about expecting too much. And if you have projects, feel into good enough. Okay? If you're doing projects. The relational part was when I took the 2 squares together. But that's some dicey energy there with both of those squares going on at once. August 27th, we have a new moon in Virgo at 4:16 a.m. Eastern Time. Feels to me when I checked in on this one, there was a lot about feelings of emotional safety, feelings of being kind of comfortable or at home, and feelings of how you get that from having a certain amount of order in your world. Can you allow messy? So interesting, that energy of the 26th is carrying over, and that it's again being able to allow things not to be perfect. And if you're finding somewhere in your chart, if you've got a lot of that Virgo energy and you're pushing yourself too hard and therefore it's not even allowing you to finish things or show up in the world, I invite you to make an intention, because new moons are when we set new seeds for health, home, order in your life without any kind of over perfectionism. Where you can say, oh, that's good enough. That feels good. I don't have to make it perfect. I can just do it at this level and it actually feels good. And I can finish it and do something else. So you don't feel like you have to pour everything into it and it needs to be perfect and you're afraid to show it to anyone in case it isn't perfect. Okay, so August 28th, Venus in Leo is opposed to Saturn in Aquarius, those dang fixed signs again. And it's not a square, but it is an opposition. And so there's something to be learned here. What this tells me is we've got that romantic energy again, and we have that more real world energy of Saturn, but it's again old world or new world. Like the Saturn and Aquarius are already within themselves kind of discontent. Okay, so watch frustration around being appreciated and around romance and commitment. Like if you feel like there needs to be more commitment, or you feel like you're being demanded too much commitment. The remedy that my guide showed me for the 28th, for the end of the month, is gratitude, appreciation. So love and appreciate others if you can. It needs to be authentic, right? But find a way to look through the lens of what's good here, and just get over the hump of the end of the month with this attention to appreciating and loving others. If you do, I feel like it's going to go way smoother at the end of the month. Okay, let's look at the best day and the most challenging day. For me, there are several good days. To me, there's a lot of love here, a lot of romance for self, for other, just romancing yourself again, and for romancing spirit. Which just means loving, appreciating, playing with, being in joy with, like going back and forth. That's what I mean by romance. But August 2nd to me feels particularly sweet because it starts out the month and it's just, you've got these beautiful feelings around Venus being in Cancer. I don't know. The day just feels really, really sweet to me. And I'm choosing it because I want your month to start out well. And I think focusing on the 2nd and really getting the most out of that day will be great and easy. The worst or most challenging day I'm choosing is, you just heard it, you probably guessed it, August 26th. We have 2 big squares, and it just feels, we've got Sun, Venus, Mars, and Uranus, and it just feels potentially very volatile and sort of difficult. But even that day doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, it's too much to worry about. I feel warm and pretty happy in general about August. And I tend to feel optimistic and positive about Lionsgate, and about using it as a check-in as to how you can step into your highest spiritual potential in a very physical way. Let the sun, let Sirius activate you. Okay? So guys, I need to go get my cards. I'll be right back with them, and I will do a 2-card pull for the first and second halves of the month. Okay guys, thanks for your patience. I'm just gonna shuffle this a few times and hope it's not too loud, just a few times. Usually 3, I think, is the magic number for doing this. We're gonna get our goddess for the first half of the month and our goddess for the second half of the month. Yes, I am. All right, so here we go. Here we go. For the first half of the month, we have Butterfly Maiden. Such a beautiful card. I love this card. So yeah, we're in for big transformation. It says transformation. You are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. So to me, and it's like, if you look at it, it's like the butterflies are going up. There's a whole aura behind her. It's like this is in a connection to higher self, and the kind of upgrade that we're talking about for the first half of the month with the Lionsgate, Leo energy, and all the aspects that we talked about. So embrace that. It can be soft. It can be sweet. The colors on this, by the way, are mostly, there's some orange in there, but it's mostly behind her. It's the yellow, green, and blue, and even the indigo of the third chakra, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, and the third eye. So it's that same thing. We're moving up. We're starting here and moving up. So that's where the focus is going to be, I believe. And our second goddess of the month is Sulis. So it's about water. And I love that this comes up. Sulis is reminding me of how important water is. And look at this. I'll just drink a little bit of water right now. To celebrate that and recognize that water is a conduit. When we're changing and transforming, we need lots of water. And this card says, can you see it right there? Okay, I'm going to read it to you. Spend time near water, such as a lake, river, or the ocean, to recharge your batteries. Also, for integrating, when you've done upgrading, water is this incredible healing conduit. So transformation in the first half of the month, the second half, allowing it to flow through you, move through you, and be integrated through the feminine element of water. I'm recommending grounding as well too. So if you are using a tub, feel the containment of the tub, the base of it, the grounding. If you're in an ocean, feel the sand of the beach. If you're in a pool, the edges of the pool. What I mean is something is holding that water. So both the root and the sacral feel very important in this as you're in the water. The feminine, though, feels the most important. And both of these are very sweetly feminine cards. Swirling butterflies here, swirling water here. See it all around her? Beautiful. So that's it, you guys. Those are the 2 goddesses. Thank you for going through this long forecast with me. I love having you on this ride, and I'm excited. I'm always excited this time of year for this season and the growth it's bringing us. So happy birthday once again to my Leos and to my Virgos, and I will catch you on the next video. Blessings.